The views and opinions of this program presented by the host and guests do not reflect those of Bronc Radio TV nor the university. You're listening to the Political Hour here on Bronc Radio. Welcome to another edition of the Political Hour. I'm your host, Omar Jimenez. Today is Wednesday, April the 15th, 2015. We have a lot to get through in such little time this week. On this week's edition, members of the Muslim Student Association at UTPA will stop by to talk more about their organization. Next, many candidates these past few days have announced their intention to run for office in 2016. I will have the wrap-up of who's in later. But first, in continuing and showcasing our candidates running for different offices in our local area, this week I have candidates running for McAllen ISD School Board for Place 1 live in the studio. With us today is Enedelia Olivarez, who is running for this seat. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Enedelia Olivarez, and I am running for Place 1 in the McAllen ISD School Board elections this year.
Thank you very much. And we are joined by another candidate, actually. So we're going to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Sure. Hi, Bronx. This is Dalinda, Gonzalez, Alcantar. I'm an alumni here from the University of Texas Pan American with my graduate degree, and I am running for McAllen ISD School Board Place 1.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and begin with this debate forum here on Bronc Radio. So we're going to start with Ms. Alcantar with the next question. And what do you think is the biggest issue facing the school district right now?
Well, I think the most important issue at all times in any school district is the opportunities that we give to our students, the educational opportunities that we give to our students, and the way that we're impacting our community and our families through education. That should always be at the forefront of any issue dealing with an educational system.
Ms. Olivarez, the same question to you.
I think I echo what Ms. Alcantar also says. Having been a teacher for 30 years, working with students of, in particular for me, has been children with specialized needs. That's been very important for me. But across the board, I think it is, first and foremost, is what is best for the students. I also think at this particular juncture is what is also best for the parents and the community in the sense that we have been in the throes of this debate about the school bond issue. I think we also need to concern ourselves with what is best for the community.
When elected, name some of the things that you will push through on the board, and we'll continue with Mrs. Alvarez.
Okay. I think what's important is to get past this bond, because if it does get passed, then there's going to be an awful lot of work to be done as well. How are we going to continue focusing with the children, particularly in university, House Bill 5, how are we going to make sure that we access and utilize STC? That's really special to me. I think we pay taxes for South Texas College. How are we going to be able to utilize STC? Even in the event that we have to shave even more of this bond issue, how are we going to be able to that? I pay taxes, the community pays taxes, and here we're having to pay more taxes. That's one. The other is, I think we have been hearing about equity. I really wanted a definition last night, but I did not go to the town hall to ask questions. I went to listen. So I think that would be something that I would want to know, is clearly define equity between the north side of McAllen and the south side of McAllen.
The same question to you, Ms. Alcantar.
So as a board member, we're just, one of 7 votes. And so I think it's really important to go in there with a real collaborative spirit, knowing that I don't have all the answers, but I have some great ideas, and I'm excited to be able to collaborate with the other board members. When we do talk about something like equity, I'm not so concerned about just the facilities. We know that based on the different demographics that our students come from in the different areas of McAllen, that their needs are different. And sometimes we do kind of like these blanket strategies or this blanket curriculum where we have pods of areas that are, needing to address, other particular issues. And I think when we talk about equity, I think we need to be real about what every one of our students needs in the demographic that they're living in, and make sure that in trying to reach equity, we're giving them the opportunities that they're going to help them to kind of equalize the system. It's when they leave us as graduates that they're able to say, we did everything that we could to be able to be successful, and McAllen ISD gave us that opportunity to do that.
How will you use your experience and background on the school board, and will we begin with you?
Well, I have over 10 years of teaching experience. In fact, I'm currently an educator at Robert Bella High School, and I'm most passionate about education in my life. There's been over 10 years of community service in the educational field. But I also have two technology startups that have done really well. And so we talk about these 21st century leaders, we talk about 21st century learners, and that's my daily life. I don't have a brick and mortar business. My business is on the internet. It's internet based, and its success has been from things like social media. I created the job that I'm sitting in, as a founder of my two startups. And when we look ahead, we need to know that we are providing education for careers that are not existent right now. Even the students that are here at Pan Am, the bulk of y'all need to create your own opportunities and to create your own jobs to be successful. It's not something that you're just going to go apply for a position. And so I think with both my educational background and my passion, and with my two businesses, I bring a unique perspective as a practicing educator to the board.
Ms. Olivarez, the same question.
Well, I bring the voice of experience in education. I was looking at all the young people that are around me, and I realized that I really am old. But I don't feel old, and I don't think old. I think that voice of experience I do bring across the spectrum, from developmental disabilities, K through 12. Now that I am a licensed professional counselor for the past 7 years, I started my own company a year and a half ago. I also bring the experience of mental health. And right now, mental health is a huge issue in our schools. A lot of our kiddos are drug and alcohol issues. A lot of our kiddos have anxiety issues, phobic issues. But more than anything, I see non-suicidal self-injury issues, which are kids who are our cutters, our kids who are overdosing. I was a teacher educator. I have several innovative programs that have been already established in Canada when I left that particular area. I tried to do that here in McAllen, and certainly did it in La Jolla. I opened up a bistro for the students there. I opened up a bistro in Hidalgo. The inclusion of all students is very important to me, the specialization of kids with disabilities, career paths for them, as well as career paths for our kids that are a top 10, 15%. But there are kids who are below the 15%. And that's not to say that they don't have purpose and they don't have quality. But as Ms. Alcantar also said, we need to meet the diverse needs of every single child, whether they're going to a four-year university or whether we're going to see if maybe they just want to be something as inherently valuable as a plumber and electrician, whether they want to be able to be anything that they can be journeymen, and I think that's going to come out of the career and technology programs at STC, personally speaking.
Thank you. We're going to stop right here and take a quick break here on the Political Hour. We have candidates here running for McAllen's ISD School Board for Place 1. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Political Hour on Bronc Radio. We are here with candidates running for McAllen's ISD School Board for Place 1. And continuing with our segment, Lunch with the Candidates, we'll start with the next question for Ms. Alvarez. A major issue has been tax increases from many entities such as STC, the City of McAllen, and of course the one that might come up for McAllen ISD. How can you ensure that homeowners don't feel that they're paying higher taxes?
Well, it's obvious I can't ensure them that. Everything that shows up in any of the data or any of the, solutions that we have discussed, at least certainly in the last month and a half, have been about the taxes. And this bond issue has been dissected, evaluated, criticized, questioned, and now I think there's even a legal matter that is associated with the bond at this point. However, I have to express that I am extremely impressed with the taxpaying community. They have come out in droves with questions that have kept us, not me, but certainly in the back of my mind, but certainly the board, to be accountable to what they are proposing. My position for this, if you're asking, is the tax-paying community. I think that, and I go back to equity, and maybe that question will be asked, because if we build pretty schools, more efficient schools, the facades are going to look nice on the south side. What are the homes of those people going to look like in the midst of these schools? Are they going to end up selling and saying, you know what, we're going to go someplace else? And then we make McAllen straight from the south to the north, to the east, to the west. What? The elitist communities? That is a concern that I have. These individuals cannot pay high taxes. So I guess if I kind of answered your question a bit, I am concerned about the taxation. And I don't want to go to the Boston Tea Party, but we do need some representation. Okay? Thank you.
Ms. Alcantar.
You know, I know that our facilities need some serious overhaul. I understand that. I'm concerned with the safety of our students within the facilities. And I am concerned, of course, that there are some health concerns, you know, and then just some mechanical and, you know, interior concerns as well. And so to say that we don't need a bond issue, I mean, I don't believe that that's necessarily true. I'm just not in favor of this current bond issue at the size that it is. My concern is for citizens throughout McAllen. And I want to make sure that everybody has what they need to receive quality instruction and quality opportunity. And I think right now the message is that these facilities are going to give us this immediate success. And I think the structures that we need to be most concerned with are the ones of the workers that are there at McAllen ISD and the students that are in McAllen ISD. You know, I went to the State of the City address for McAllen, and that exponentially within the next 10 years, we're supposed to see an expected revenue hike of almost $8 billion in McAllen. You know, there's these different avenues of funding that are looking to come up, and I just want to be mindful of the fact that we're already paying into our schools. You know, we're already paying our property taxes, and I don't want people to forget that they're already paying for a lot of this. I think that this size of this bond is what's really concerning the citizens of McAllen, and I'm also really excited and very proud of the taxpayers and community members for going out to the town hall meetings and for educating themselves and for looking online. But yes, I know the facilities need some serious work, and I know that our current budget in McAllen ISD doesn't allow for a ton of room. I think this number is a great beginning discussion, but I don't think that this needs to be the final amount.
The next question, as y'all know, the school board was sued this week because they were accused of using district funds to promote the bond election, and there have also been claims that teachers are being pushed to promote the bond. What are your thoughts about it, and how can you ensure the public trust on this issue? We'll begin with Ms. Alcantar.
So I don't know in the legal sense of what that could look like. You know, I'm definitely not an attorney, so I don't really want to discuss that legal side of it. But what I can tell you is that I wasn't here living in the Valley in the 2005 bond that was passed and was wildly successful. But what I'm hearing, because, you know, all of my circle, they're teachers. My husband is an educator also in McAllen. He's a teacher and he's a coach. And the people that are helping me with my campaign, which I'm so thankful and so blessed, are some of the maintenance and operations people that work in McAllen as well. And they all feel as though they are being pushed to have to vote yes. And that really concerned me, that at this point, you know, they advertise that there's going to be mobile units that go onto these campuses to essentially escort the teachers to conveniently vote. You know, a mobile unit was actually, this idea of a mobile voting unit was supposed to be the opposite, for the opposite purpose. It was supposed to be to ensure that people that did not have transportation and did not have accessibility, or they suffered from a disability, that they were also given an equal opportunity to go out and vote. And these mobile units are actually being used in the opposite way. They're actually going to be at the they're actually going to go twice to elementary schools that are at the highest socioeconomic status, with those people that do have transportation. And that's very concerning. But again, going back to the way the teachers feel, I have heard from my own friends that are teachers in McAllen and other workers that they do feel pressured to not only vote yes for the bond, which that's their own right to vote however they choose, but they also feel pressured to have to promote the bond.
Ms. Olivarez, the same question?
I feel the same way in the sense that a private vote is a private vote. If teachers are being pressured and they are bringing machines to the school, I think that is violating their freedom to choose. If teachers are being asked to register voters and they're hiring substitutes, then that's using money that was not intended for that purpose. I think that is the issue in terms of keeping all of what we need to get done for the teachers. Teachers are concerned about their salaries, and I know that's another issue as well. But as far as this lawsuit, I'm not an attorney. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what it means in the larger scheme of things. Personally, we already had enough division with the bond issue itself without having to now concern ourselves with the school district that we love, the kids that we care about, the community that means so much to us. To now have this, I don't know, eyesore, I guess, if you want to call it, because that's not what we really need to have to deal with at this time.
Let's change topics real quick here. How can the school district support relationships between UTPA and UTRGV? And we'll begin with Ms. Alvarez.
Ask the question again.
How can the school district support the relationship between UTPA and UTRGV coming up in the fall?
I suppose it would mean getting students to continue on their career paths, to continue with excellence in education, to continue wanting to further their careers. We have a medical school coming up, correct? And UTPA is a great university. Are they pushing that? Are they looking at staying local rather than moving out? That's my only way of contributing to that discussion at this point.
Same question to you, Ms. Alcantar.
Well, I'm really excited about UTRGV, and I currently am a college and career readiness coordinator here at Robert Vela. And so I constantly tell my students, yes, it is invaluable to move away and to go to school. I went to Texas State. I did receive my master's here at Pan Am, and so I know the quality of instruction. I know the quality of the institution itself. And so I've actually started to tell my own juniors and seniors, you know what? This is a great choice. UTRGV is a great choice, and it's a great place to start and to finish. And in terms of a collaboration between the school district and UTRGV and even STC, there's incredible facilities. I mean, look at how quickly UT Pan Am is growing in terms of its facilities and the structures that are being brought up, and more importantly, the learning environments that are within them. I'd like to see McAllen ISD collaborate with with both institutions for the needs of the students. I know that we currently have a really vibrant concurrent enrollment program, and so I'd like to see that continue. But I'd also like to see it just kind of go a step further, where there's such a fluent transition from secondary to post-secondary, and using all of the amazing amenities that UTRGV has.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up with this last question for closing remarks, and this is a good chance to persuade our listeners why they should vote for you. So we'll go ahead and begin with Ms. Alcantar.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us here today in the Political Hour. And I just think that it's really important in terms of my place, that I know that I'm the candidate that brings the most experience in terms of education. I interned over in Austin at the Capitol with Senator Lucio, where I was able to really see what educational policy was about and the decisions at a state level. And I'm really passionate about education. My entire life has been committed to creating opportunities through education for families. And so to find out a little bit more information about my platform, what I believe in, a little bit more about my bio, and what I would bring to McAllen ISD, you can visit www.McAllenforDalinda.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at DalindaB.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez?
Yes. Well, why I want your vote is because I would like to be on the school board, to be able to be the voice for children, the voice for parents, the voice for the community, but to be one of the 7 people that are on that board. I want to be able to bring experience both in education, like I mentioned earlier, particularly in special education. And I know someone could be thinking, well, why is she only camping on special ed? I think because sometimes that is an area that goes unnoticed. I do know that a lot of our kids who graduate from high school who are special needs kids graduate with a diploma and they are at the 1st or 2nd grade academic level. When they leave the high school, do they have the skill sets to be able to go on to DARS so that then DARS can use whatever assets that they have to be able to give them the skill sets so that they can be productive members of society? If that is the only voice I bring, which is the voice of special needs, then that is the only voice I will bring on the board. It is a passion of mine. It has always been a passion of mine, as well as mental health. We need to be looking at that. Someone has to be on the board that talks about our kids who are, don't be dramatic, but who are kids who are emotionally dying on our campuses. If that is not good enough for the folks, then that's not good enough for the folks. But that is what I would bring to the school board and to the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been Dalinda Gonzalez Alcantar and Enedelia, Olivarez, running for McAllen ISD School Board for place 1. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Up next here on the Political Hour, we have members of the Muslim Association here at UTPA to talk about more about the organization. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Political Hour on Bronc Radio. We are so glad that you are with us here. And I forgot to mention our election that's coming up but don't forget the election will be for May 9th for many of our local entities. Early voting will begin April the 27th and last until May the 5th. So please don't forget to vote in many competitive races that we have here locally, not only here in Edinburgh, but around McAllen and our other entities. But right now we have members of the Muslim Students Association here on campus. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all introduce yourselves real quick.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Amira Khan. I'm currently the historian for the Muslim Students Association, and I'm also a freshman here at the University of Texas Pan American.
Hello. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Farhan Mohammed. I'm here junior at the UTPA. I'm a major of political science.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Sulaiman Rashid. I'm a senior here at Pan Am. I'm a biology major, pre-med, but my hobbies are writing and music. Nice to meet you all.
Tell us how the organization got started.
All right. Well, it's been through many incarnations. I think I'm the oldest member of the association at this point. But even when I was a member, I was not the first one. So I think it was set up by somebody before us. And we were like more of an embryonic thing at that point. We didn't really have much of a hierarchy or a structure at that point. But we found other Muslims. We just got together. We started up the organization just to discuss issues, and that was basically about it.
All right. And how did each of y'all get involved with the organization? Whoever wants to start first.
Okay. Well, like I said before, I'm currently a freshman here at UTPA. I've grown up here in the Valley, and so, because I've grown up here, I've learned to, meet a lot of Muslims here just because we've all grown up together. So we all kind of came to UTPA, and even before I came here to college, I knew that, there were Muslims here on campus, and they kind of wanted to start an MSA, or they did have an MSA, but it wasn't super active, or it would be active for about a semester or two, and then it would just kind of die down. So when I first came here as a student, I knew that I had a lot of experience back in high school. I know this is kind of a different story, but back in high school, I had a lot of experience in leadership, and I knew that there were a lot of Muslims here on campus, and I know that we could do a lot of things. We just needed the proper leadership in order to kind of set that through. So when I came in wanting to be a leader and wanting to have a leadership position, which is why currently I'm the historian. So.
And also, from this point of view, we have MSA I was raised in North Carolina and New York, so from there are so many Muslims that they have a national MSA. So here when I came to the Valley, I saw a lot of Muslims, so I joined this program, which is very nice to bring the awareness, since the media portrays the Islam as another way. So we do our job, try to bring the truth to it, and this is how we got the motivation to spread the truth.
And like I mentioned earlier, I'm a writer, so I was hanging out with other writers, and one of them was Aisha Zahid, and she used to run MSA before any of us did. So she said, "Hey, have you heard of Muslim Student Association?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." So she introduced me to it, and that's how I got involved.
Talk about some of the things that you've done in the organization so far.
Okay, well, this year we really, like I said before, we really wanted to promote MSA as something huge because, like I said, there were so many Muslims on campus and even non-Muslims who were, just a little interested in Islam and what it was. So during the first semester, because we were kind of, I suppose, rising from the ashes in a sense, we needed to really get our organization passed as an actual legitimate organization here on campus. And going for the most part, during the first semester, we weren't able to do a lot of activities and events just because we had to be an actual organization. So we had to do a lot of paperwork and all that other stuff and get passed by OSI. And then thankfully, we were actually passed around the end of first semester. So by then, we had a lot of plans of what we wanted to do during this semester. So during the semester, or when we came back after our little winter vacation, we really had a lot of things in our mind going. We were all really pumped up and really excited to do a lot of events. So in the past couple of months, we've been able to successfully have 2 bake sales, which were basically our fundraising events. And also, even during our little bake sales, our 2 or 3 hour bake sales during lunch, we'd have people come up to us and ask like, "Oh, who are you guys? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what does those shirts say?" Like simple little questions like that were not only, for fundraising purposes, but just to kind of spread awareness of like, hey, there's an MSA on campus, Along with that, we also participated in recently, actually a couple of weeks ago, in this event called Showdown. It's basically where MSAs from all over Texas meet together in one college, and this year it was at Texas A&M in College Station, and it's basically where the different MSAs participate in various events like writing, reading, and then also some religious things. So we were able to really connect with other Muslims there and really just meet other MSAs and like find out different ways that we could be involved with things here on campus as well. And last but not least, we have one more upcoming event called our Fastathon, which I'm not entirely sure if we're going to get to speaking about that, but I'll just throw in a little plug in here.
Go ahead and speak on that. That was my next question. What are y'all going to do?
Okay, so we've had Fastathon for the past couple of years, some, again, more successful than the others. But basically what Fastathon entails is that, one of the main tenets of Islam is that we fast during a special month of the year. And this year, it happens to be in June or July, which is obviously, no one is here on campus, really. So we really wanted to have that event before people were let out of school. So we'll be having it next week on Thursday. There are flyers posted around the campus for more information. But basically, we'll be asking people to try and fast on that one day, which basically means abstaining from food and drinking and just doing more good deeds and less bad deeds. And then we invite everyone to come for dinner, and we'll be able to break our fast together, and we'll also be having a short little presentation on Islam and like what it is, and just a short question and answer session with one of our religious leaders here in the Valley, so that way people, if anyone has any questions, they can just ask him, they can ask us. And it's basically just an event where people can have dinner with us and just hang out, basically.
How can someone join the organization?
Okay, well, right as of now, we don't have any plans of you don't have to be a member. I mean, you don't have to pay dues to become a member. This is free and open to anyone and everyone, really. It's a free invite for everyone. And all you have to do really is just show up to our meeting. We're actually having a meeting this coming Thursday in the Science Building in 1.288, which is right across Gonzalez. And basically, if you want to be part of MSA, or if you're even remotely interested, all you have to do is show up. We're also on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's just MSA at UTPA. And we post so much information there regarding like upcoming events or upcoming meetings, or just any way that like you can become involved. So it's not really like we have a list of, these are all the members and that's it. It's not exclusive at all. It's very open to anyone and everyone.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today on the Political Hour, members of the Muslim Students Association here on campus. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I think someone forgot that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure we get that to the right owner. We'll be back here on the Political Hour on Bronc Radio. Don't go away. Bronc Radio, we're so glad that you're with us here on this edition. Very cloudy to say, but, well, it's going to happen for the rest of the week. But anyways, over the last week or so, we had many people already deciding to run for the 2016 election. But of course, the big news is Hillary Clinton, that we already knew was going to happen, as she is decided to run for the Democratic nomination for president. And many Republicans have also announced that they will be running. So, of course, we had Ted Cruz is running, Senator Ted Cruz is running, Senator Ron Paul from Kentucky has decided to run as well for the presidency. And I'm sure Rick Perry is running as well again for the presidency. And now, of course, Senator Marco Rubio from Florida, from the sunny state, has decided to run in that position for the presidency. A lot of people thought he would be running for vice presidency or whatever, but many people were down and said that he was going to run for the presidency. So it's also very, very, very interesting now that he has announced. But of course, I don't think nobody's surprised that he was gonna run for president either way, unlike with Hillary Clinton. But of course, Joe Biden is looking into running for president again in 2016, and there's some of the things that the people were looking at to see who was going to run. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of people. As you know, this is going to be a very, very open seat. It's an open seat here that's going on here, and this is something that is very exciting to know. So I guess we want to see who's going to win. But this is going to be a very heated contest, I believe. And speaking of 2016, even here locally, we have candidates that are filing to run for our congressional seat here in District 15, which stretches from the border all the way up to Seguin, Texas. Ruben Hinojosa has announced that he will be running for the seat in 2016. One person has filed already to run. Paul Williams, who is a cop for the city of Mission, has announced last week that he will be running for the seat. And very young guy, a 26-year-old and a former U.S. Marine and Iraqi war veteran, has announced that he will be running for this seat. And over the weekend, former mayor of Rio Grande City, Ruben Villarreal, has decided to run for this seat as well. As you recall, a few weeks ago, he resigned as mayor, and now he will be running for this seat for the congressional district in District 15. So I'm guessing if we're going to have very big names running in this seat, that would be very, very... Excuse me. It's going to be very interesting to see how contested this race will be. And I believe next year we might have some very competitive races. If I will not be shocked to see any front runners or any well-known names running for these seats. So I am very much excited for our race coming up next year in 2016. So we will never wait to see who's going to run, but it's always something very interesting to see who will be running for those seats in 2016. We'll have more here on the Political Hour on Bronc Radio, so don't go away. Thank you very much for joining us on the Political Hour. And don't forget that we need your help right now to name the new media outlets for UT Rio Grande Valley. A survey is being conducted by UTRGB for suggested names for our new TV and radio station, newspaper, and magazine. You have until April the 20th to submit your ideas. Go to my.utpa.edu to find the survey What's in a Name on the front page of the sign-in and follow the pages. The names will be announced in May. Also, the UTRGV Student Government Association will be having elections tomorrow for its president and senators. The ballot will consist of a slate that includes a president and 2 vice presidents from each campus, as well as senators from each college from both campuses. Log on to myutpa.edu to vote. The ballot closes on Friday at 11:59 p.m. Don't forget to like my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/BroncTVRadio and my page at www.facebook.com/OmarJimenezBRTV. This is it for this edition of the Political Hour. We'll have more candidates coming back on the show next week from McAllen ISD on the next edition. But until then, have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. The views and opinions of this program presented by the host and guests do not reflect those of Bronc Radio TV nor the university. You're listening to the Political Hour here on Bronc Radio.